Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Monday Motivation Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Krakowski, joined as always by my main man, Goran Vasevich.
What's going on, buddy?
I threw a change up at you there. You weren't ready for the speed change.
I wasn't. I was like, what's going on? You know, that's what happens when you're sick, is we have this like off moment, but it doesn't even matter because you're still here hosting it.
No question. Yeah, if you can tell a little bit on the mic, I'm a little bit stuffed up right now. But also with us today, really exciting, what brought me through and brought this thing home is we have Nicole Murray on the mic. What's up, Nicole?
Hey, everyone.
For those of you who don't know Nicole, she's kind of a jack of all trades here at VSM. She's doing leasing, she's doing acquisition, she's doing brokerage deals, she's doing investment deals, she owns investment properties herself.
And she's also helping us with our SLT, the learning platform, which is basically creating a whole bunch of learning courses that we can use internally, and then one day we'll be able to share with the general public. But yeah, she's a rock star at that. We, both Ryan and I suck at it. So she was like, let me show you what I can do. And then 20 lessons later, we're like, yeah, you're the person for it.
No doubt. Yeah. And thank you for not including me in that. But I think I belong in that category with you and Ryan of sucking at that too.
Yeah.
So nonetheless, what we wanted to talk about today is your success undeniable? Are you going to be relentless and just taking what's yours, taking no prisoners, not questioning yourself, not taking days off from work, not making excuses? Is there anything that's going to stand between you and what you want to accomplish?
And can you answer that for us?
No. For me, there's nothing that's going to stop me. I'm coming in every day, working 7 days a week. It's just what I need to do to get where I want to be. You know, we only have so many productive years in the workforce, and every opportunity that you miss is just another setback. It's another series of time that it's going to take before you get that same opportunity again, right? And if you want to get to the top, you have to hit every single green light along the way to get there.
I agree, you 100%.
And I think Nicole epitomizes that very well by, she's always out there hustling. She's always meeting new people. I think a strength that she has.
She's here late, and she asked whether or not she can come here on the weekends. We're like, what? Of course. We're always open.
Yeah. And in our world, when you say someone's here late, there's no assumption that they're late for some early appointment. It's they're staying late, burning the midnight oil.
I do believe I said I was upping my hours, upping my game.
I love it.
Nice.
Right on. So, Nicole, what are you doing? Why is your success going to be undeniable?
I'm just reevaluating my approach all the time, also with help and support of you guys here in our office, just reevaluating what my goals are, what I need to do to get there, my connections with the people that I'm meeting consistently throughout the industry and beyond, and just creating really strong, genuine relationships, and keeping that going, hitting repeat every single day. And, everybody needs love consistently, daily. So when you're running into anybody who has something that's going on, you can relate and keep going.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. But how do you make it undeniable? Or what my mental picture is that you're going for the dunk, and then somebody's like, I don't think so, buddy. Boom, you get rejected. And so many people, on their road to success, they encounter these obstacles. So it doesn't matter what it is. Today for you, for example, Daniel, is you're sick. You probably have a fever, but you're like, you know what? nah, I'm driving to the hoop. I'm going to be dunking on this sickness and scoring the point.
Stiff arm into Kembe Mutombo out of the way.
That's right. That's right.
So, okay, so Nicole, what challenges then are going to be things that get in your way or that have gotten in the way of you in the past that now you're just pushing past? Like, what sort of commitments have you made that's going to make those something that you can overcome?
Sure. I think one thing that in the past I've been very overwhelmed with is time management. So reevaluating that and understanding I need to time block like nobody's business, whether it's phone calls or emails or a lunch with a friend, and putting everyone I care about, including myself, first.
Yeah.
And then just kind of, again, hitting repeat with that with anyone that I'm meeting in the industry that I can add value to, but structuring my day so that it's productive and successful.
That's awesome. Time management's a big one. That's an easy thing for people to struggle with.
Did we have a podcast or a Monday motivation about time management?
We did. Absolutely.
We did. All right. Yeah. That's, it's easier said than done. And I think everybody falls victim to it at some point in time. A good strategy, I think, that we talked about is really just about planning the day before for the day after or the next day.
Yeah, and really just knowing why you're doing things, right? It's tough for us when we're interacting with people all the time because it's really easy to fall down the rabbit hole. And, Facebook is a big part of what we do in terms of reaching out to people, spreading the word on what we're doing, marketing properties. But
just social media in general. Yes.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But it's really easy. I was using Facebook as a specific example because you can be, posting about this flip that you're doing, trying to find a buyer for it, or, you're trying to help a client, reach out to them and network and put their property out in front of other people, and then cat videos show up. And you're not going to not watch a cat video,
yeah, you're a
right?
Sucker for cat videos.
You're stuck. Now what? You're
2 hours later, you're still on cat videos.
You're in a black hole. You time warp through cat videos. You're way less production than you expected. That's something to be avoided, I think.
Well, how do you do it?
You have to first identify your goal on what you're trying to accomplish in whatever type of social media platform that you're using. So if you want to go home and then get into the more social side, that's fantastic. And that's something that you should do too, because it's going to grow your community. It's going to help people feel like you're interacting with them too in a more personal way, as opposed to necessarily just making business posts all the time. But when you're in business post mode, keep it to business posts, like that type of stuff.
Yeah, no, I since I go on social media a lot and I do a lot of posting myself, I usually have, the Twitter, Instagram.
I've never seen a post from you, actually.
Right.
There's
yes. I have all of the tabs open for all the social media. So it's even all the information is getting bombarded at me all the time. But then when I'm in the mode of I got to edit this video, I got to edit this photo, and I got to just unload. So I just kind of take everything, all the other noise or the distractions away. And I'm like, you know what? I have to do these 4 tasks. And I just concentrate on doing those 4 tasks. And then I watch the cat videos.
Yeah. My thing is one big part of why I think my success is undeniable is I made a conscious decision probably a year ago that no matter what, if I have an email, if I have a phone call, if I have a text message, a Facebook message, a DM on Instagram, I'm going to get to that as quickly as I can. As quickly as I can provide some sort of sane and rational answer, I'm going to reach out and get that, right? So a lot of times I might have to do some research first, but I'm going to get that to you, and I'm going to stay in communication because I think a lot of people's biggest frustration is that the person that they're working with isn't a great communicator.
How do you kind of play, just from a time management perspective where you're focused and you have to do a few things and you get distracted by the phone calls or, DM or a text message or whatever else, where you're just like, hey, do I pick this up or do I not pick it up? And for me, it's a little bit different, when I'm, in creator mode and my phone rings or there's a text, I don't even look at it because I'm like, you know what? I have to focus on this because this is what's, more pressing or more important.
Yeah, if it's something that I absolutely can't pull myself away from, then I'll just write down I always have a legal pad in front of me. Hey, do this right away. Call this person as soon as this is done. And I get to push that out of my mind for the next 45 minutes, whatever it is, and then immediately reach back out to them.
What about you, Nicole? How do you, what's your strategy for, let's say you're doing, a lot of management duties or stuff, and then something comes out of left field where it's still real estate related or may not be.
I think it's a matter of really what your priority is and where the fires are. So just you kind of constantly have to reorganize your day, if you will, for whatever priorities are, and something that comes up that may be much more important than the thing that you're working on, and then you kind of have to shuffle. And then just like you said, Goran, if you're in the middle of something that's very important, has a deadline, etc., you'll have to ignore just a couple things for a minute, but remember to quick follow up on that as fast as you can.
I think there's actually a strategy in place for that that's been written about. They have the 4 quadrants of time management or whatever. I don't know what the name is specifically, but number 1 is urgent and important, urgent and not important, important and not urgent, and not urgent and not important, right? So if you can kind of categorize those, obviously urgent and important is something that you should take care of right away. But if you can kind of just conceptualize that a little bit as you're getting more and more data and more inquiries on your time coming in, and you can kind of sort them mentally, it makes it a little bit easier to get through that. You know?
Yeah. Again, sorry, I got distracted there for a second just because I'm editing stuff. But
Cat videos.
huh?
Yeah,
Cat
he's
videos.
cat videos right now.
Now I have to ask you, did you see a cool cat video that you need to be sharing within our office? Because now I'm curious. I think you brought it up, and you probably are holding out. And you know how much we like cat videos.
I don't see cat videos because I have scheduled my time on Facebook, and I spend all my time on the business side, focusing on business, not cat videos.
Man, that was
Well said.
He
tried to trap me.
Just so you guys
Saw
know,
that, right?
He had that answer pre-written on his notepad.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the point is, a year ago then, I made this commitment where, hey, I'm going to reach out to everyone as soon as I can. And, regardless of the situation, if I get an email at 11:30 and I'm up and I see it, you're going to get a message back at 11:45.
What is the message? Hey, I got your email, I got your message. I'll get back to you, first thing in the morning, or do you actually handle that problem?
If I can, I handle it right there and right then, so they can wake up and see the first email that they see in the morning as a solution to their problem.
Do you prioritize that response? Let's say you can't handle it right away, but maybe it's still better for you to revisit that response in the morning, especially if it's kind of an email that, bad news email, for example, and your first response is like, I got to get to this and handle this right away. So your answer that you're going to give, within the next 5 minutes is really going to be a lot different than in the morning after you sleep on it.
Yeah, potentially. If I need to think about it, I haven't really had a case where I wasn't able to objectively look at it and share at least some information where it's, maybe in that example it'd be, hey, I'm sending out an email right now to all the other parties involved in this to see what type of feedback we get to be able to put a solution together as quickly as possible. Sorry, I don't have an answer for you right now, but I'll be sure to share everything that comes back as quickly as it comes in so we can find a solution for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes, just email responding at night or whatever it is. And I know when I get emails and it's like, hey, I don't have the answer right now, even if it's something simple, but get to it in the morning, that makes me feel better as kind of the recipient of that response. So, whether just the acknowledgement versus actually getting the answer, for me, it's good enough.
Right.
And I think for most people as well.
Well, I can't tell you how many deals I've closed after 11.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, one I remember, regardless of your political persuasion, this shouldn't be a factor, but one of the buyers for a property was a big fan of Donald Trump, and we were going back and forth on price. We were $10,000 apart. No, I think we were $5,000 apart. And he was like, you know what? It's 11 o'clock. This is like right at the day of the election. He's like, America's changing. I'm super jacked about this Trump thing. Let's do it. And he came up as $5,000. So that happened at like 11:30 at night.
Nice.
That's a good way to make a decision. Late at night and haste. We like that, because it gets some. But then
if I'm negotiating
in the morning, they're like, you know what? Just forget what I said last night, man. It's like, oh man, it's already done deal.
Right. So not only did I make that commitment of I'm going to do all this communication right as one example, but I've also made it a habit. So I just do that all the time now. I don't feel inconvenience. It's not going out of my way. And it's been happening now for such a long time that the other people in my life have been trained on that. For example, I was on vacation with Ryan, and one of the things that he mentioned is he's like, it's weird going on vacation with you, and I like it. But it's weird because you're constantly talking on the phone to people who are calling you and responding to emails.
Yep.
It's good for our business, but it's kind of annoying to hang out with. I'm like, well, sorry.
Yeah, I think I was in your shoes at one point in my in my life, but I think as you kind of grow and learn, you'll need to maybe not necessarily unplug or detach, but sometimes things can wait. And I know it's easier said than done. And sometimes it's better to wait. And I'm just going back to that email where I used to respond to every single email within 30 seconds. And sometimes that was not to my advantage or, for my own betterment. It was actually better for me to put that off until the next day and just have a better way to respond to it. So it may change. I don't think it's a good or bad. It's really just kind of you learn as you grow. And sometimes you just want to, when you're on vacation, you want to be on vacation. You don't want to be half in, half out, because then when you come back, you're like, was I on vacation? Not really.
Yeah, it may change, but for me right now, I get a lot of joy and sense of accomplishment out of it. Mm-hmm. So
do it. Keep doing it.
If I was on vacation and I didn't get any emails, I'd be sad. I'd be like, no one wants to talk to me. I can't help anybody right now. What's going on?
Well, that's also the difference when you really love what you do and believe in what you do.
Yep.
True.
You find joy in that 24/7.
Right. So
do you answer emails and are on call when you go on vacation, Nicole?
I do, unless I'm out of the country. Then that's a different story.
It's a difference. How do you feel about auto replies? I try never to set an auto reply because you always can be accessible unless, like you said, if you're out of the country. But even then, I know when I went out, I was still available, and I don't like the auto reply because whenever I get one, I just think this person is never going to get back to me. No matter what the auto reply says, I just hate it so much, and I just never personally use it.
I don't mind the auto reply as long as there's somebody else's name and number on there, like a direct point of contact, if you're not able to respond to them.
Yeah, I agree. Well, the thing I hate about auto replies is when you're in a group message with someone and you're trying to continue that thread and keep them informed, and you get a new auto reply every time you send an email. Come on, man.
Truth.
Right. Yeah, that too. I just think when the person is sending it to you and there's a problem or issue and you're getting the auto reply email, it only amplifies whatever their issue is, because now their needs are not being met as far as, you understanding what the issue is. So again, I think because we're so connected and, I have my phone in my hand right now, that for the most part, I don't really do the auto reply. Some people that do, I just don't see a huge usage. So I don't use it much, but when I do go on vacation, I try to really be on vacation.
Here's an interesting vacation point that was brought up in Marshall Saunders' book. Again, shout out to Marshall.
Whoop, whoop. What's the book called?
M3.
What's it stand for?
Come on, man.
Come on.
Mindset.
Methods.
And metrics.
There you go.
I can never remember the order the words are in. I know the three.
Does it matter? Yes, it
does.
Right?
Yeah,
all right.
It's for sure. So what he was saying about vacation is he's like, hey, you want to live every week of your life like you're going on vacation next week. Because he's like, how often are you on vacation? And before you go out, then you start reaching out to people and be like, hey, just a heads up, I'm going to be out of town. So if there's any issues, please let me know now. We'll get it sorted out. It's like you drag up everything that you need to do that you may have been procrastinating or forgetting about. You go through that Rolodex in your head before you leave. And of course, you can't resolve it all in that week. So, now you're on vacation and people are still reaching out and you have more work than you did before. He was saying, do it the opposite. Every week, just be reaching out to people, staying in communication, keeping them up to date with what you're doing, and let them know, that, any issue that comes up, you want to solve it now with that urgency of, hey, I'm going to be going out of town next week. Obviously, don't lie to them and tell them that you're going out of town, but think about it that way. Then, when you do go on vacation, just sneak out. Don't tell anyone. Just go on vacation.
I agree with that too. That's why I'm like, I hate the auto reply to say that I'm on vacation, because I don't want somebody, and this is from a sales mentality, which that's where he's coming from, where when I was in a sales job and I took a vacation, there's no way I'm putting an auto reply, because if somebody sends me hey, I want to go ahead with the order, if they get the auto reply, they're going to the next person and buying it from them.
Right.
So that's kind of my mentality still to this day about it.
Gordon, why is your success undeniable? What are you doing?
I think it's just I expect the roadblocks, and I welcome them, because that's how I know I'm, driving to the hoop, right? Because if you're, again, a basketball analogy, if you're not driving to the hoop, meaning your goal, who's going to be there to block you? Nobody, because no one cares. You're not going after, the goal. So as soon as you start driving to the hoop, guess what happens? People try to block you. They try to prevent you to, score the basket, which really is just kind of a beacon for you, and acknowledgement that, hey, that's the right thing. So,
no doubt. You got no problems. You got nothing that you're accomplishing.
That's right.
It's very true. Well, I think that was a good Monday motivation here. I apologize for any sniffling or coughing that may have taken place during this podcast. More to the audience than you. I was apologizing, but I appreciate that. I appreciate your acceptance on their behalf.
We did have a scheduled video recording, multiple video recordings today, but we're going to have to put that off, hopefully maybe, Monday, so we can get that going.
Because I look like hot garbage right now.
Yeah, people like our vlogs and videos.
No question.
So we gotta give the people what they want.
We do.
More of 10x them.
We're people of the people here. All right. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week.